Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. We're going to be in Basic Fantasy for this video today. It's a continuation of character creation in Basic Fantasy. We will be creating a fighter today, and this will be my second time filming this video. My first video went into slow-mo for some reason and was like an hour long when it could have been like 12 to 15 minutes long. So hopefully in the refilming it'll be a lot shorter. Where are my dice? Okay. So I'm going to create a dwarven fighter. I rolled it randomly last time. Now let's roll some stats. Rolling 3 6-sided dice. Got a 15. Got a 12. Got a 9. Got a 14. Got a 13. Got another 13. That is probably the best stats I've rolled in a minute for a character. So, with fighter, I believe strength is the most important. So I will throw my 15 into strength. Now for a dwarf, what are my restrictions? I have to have a minimum of a 9 constitution. How are my stats listed? So I don't just list it like D&D stats. If I was going to roll these in order, I would have just rolled down the line and then picked my class and picked a race based on what I qualified for. So strengths first, then intelligence, wisdom, dex, con, charisma. Okay. So dwarves have to have a minimum of 9 constitution. So for me, I'll probably throw the 14 in because I want to have a hardy fighter to take some hits. So let's cross that off. Okay. My charisma cannot be higher than 17 as a dwarf. Being a dwarf, I like playing gruffy characters, so we'll give him a 9. He is very shy when speaking to people. Okay, let's see if there's any note under fighter I need to make. Okay, the prime requisite for the fighter is strength. The character must have a strength score of 9 or higher to be a fighter. Members of this class may wear any armor and use any weapon. Okay, so I have a 13, 13, 12 to place. I'll put a 13 in dex because I think that's a +1 bonus, but I could be wrong. That might still be a +0. And then we'll assume he is wiser than he is smart, so we'll go 13 wisdom, 12 intelligence. Now let's look at the bonuses. 13 to 15 is a +1, and I do not have anything higher than a 15, so 13 to 15 is +1. Boop. Nine to 12 is a 0. So those are my bonuses. So let's look at the fighter and look at hit points. So I roll a d8 for my hit points at first level. I get 2 plus my con, I get 3. So I'm a fighter that can't really take a hit. That'll be fun to roleplay into. I'd make a note of the experience I need to level. Each of the classes in Basic Fantasy need different amounts of experience points to level. Like a cleric to get to level 2 needs 1,500. A fighter to get to level 2 needs 2,000. A magic user needs 2,500. but a thief only needs 1,250. So make a note of what experience points you need to level and set your character up that way. Now for random starting gold, I get 3d6 times 10. 2, 4, 6. So I get 60 gold pieces. So with that, I'll want a primary weapon, and armor. That would be it. So let's look at the armor. I'm not going to be able to afford the best armor for a first level character, which is chainmail, because that's 60 gold. If I put all 60 gold in that, I would have no weapons. Because even a club is priced at 2 silver, unless you, say, found it in the woods. So I'll go with leather armor, which is 20. Which gives me an AC of 13, which is not very promising with 3 hit points. So at that point, I'd probably purchase a shield, which would be a -7 gold. And that would add 1 to my AC. So my AC is 14. And then I would need to pick weapon. So I'm going to only be able to use a medium weapon, so a one-handed weapon with my shield. Being a dwarf, I'm probably going to favor axes, so let's go with a battle axe, which will be 7 gold. Does 1d8 damage. The longsword or a scimitar does the same damage as if I wanted to go the sword route. The mace out of the hammer and maces does the same damage. So for the most part, all of them are set up where they would do about the same. Let's look at a ranged weapon and a backup weapon. So a ranged weapon, short bow's 25 gold, longbow's 60, so no longbow. Light crossbow's 30, heavy crossbow's 50, so those are too pricey. And a sling. So I'll probably go with sling because it's cheaper, just as a ranged weapon, because my character is going to favor melee over range, but you never know when you need to pelt an enemy a couple times before melee begins. So we'll subtract 1 gold for that, and we'll purchase ammo, and we'll purchase half a gold worth of ammo, so 1.5. Make a note of how much ammo I got, and then how much damage a sling does, which with the ammo purchased does a d4. With stones, which I'll make a note of, in case I have to go and find river stones to use for a sling, does 1d3. Okay. Backup weapon. In the case of the backup weapon, I'll go with a warhammer. Which is listed as a small weapon. So it's a smaller one-handed weapon. It'll do a d6 damage. And a dagger. Because that is a utility weapon and a utility survival item. So that was 2 gold. Warhammer was 4 gold. Dagger would do 1d4. Okay, so those are the weapons. Let's figure out where I'm at. 34, 38, 41 and a half. So I'm at minus 41 and a half from 60. So that would be what I have left to purchase my adventuring gear. Backpack, bedroll, rope, whetstone, Things I would need to survive in the wild. Rations. I'd definitely pick rations in a backpack. Definitely a bedroll. I'd either pick canvas, or if they have a tent and it's not expensive, I'd pick a tent. But if canvas is cheaper, canvas is also a good thing, where you could just get yards of cloth and set you up a quick tent with rope, cloth, and a couple of tent pegs. And you don't even have to purchase the tent pegs if you're in a forest area, and you can make them, just as long as you're aware of where you're starting in that sense in the game. I'd make a note of my 6 different saves that are in this game, which arcs back to more second edition D&D than it does third edition, fourth edition, and fifth edition D&D, as well as any of the Pathfinders, which is based off third edition D&D, where you only have 3 saves. They break the saves up because you'll be better at certain things and you'll be worse at certain saves that are similar. Like you might be better as a dwarf resisting poison, but not as good as a dwarf resisting disease, and there would be 2 different saves. Let me look to see what the saves are, so that way. Saving throws. Death/poison save. Save versus wands. Save versus paralysis or turning to stone. Dragon's breath save. And spells save. So dwarves get a +4 versus death ray or poison. Magic wands, paralysis or petrify, and spells, and a +3 versus dragon's breath. So I'd make a note of all those on my dwarven character on the saves. So if I could survive to 2nd level without much issue, I would take this guy, and his saves are good, so he'd do really well, just his hit points are bad, so he needs to make it to 2nd level for more hit points, where I get to roll a 2nd d8 and increase his hit points. Well, this is me creating a dwarven fighter. Hopefully it was helpful to you guys, and the video is a little bit shorter than my first filming. Well, until we all game again, guys.